Hello, my noble band of outlaws. Outlaw Samurai coming at you live with a video. What's this? Outlaw has a spear? What is this blasphemy? Outlaw not with a sword? That doesn't make sense. Clearly the gods have decreed. The world has gone mad. Well, no. See, for those of you who don't know, I am a major fan of the show Primal. You know, Spear, Fang, Mira. And I have just recently watched episode 1. And I fucking loved it. But I do have some theories that I want to run by everyone. Also proving that Outlaw can indeed throw a spear. Now then, we saw in the beginning of the episode, and this is going to be some spoiler warning for those of you who haven't watched it yet, that some unnamed village, we assume it's Mira's village, or at least I do, gets attacked by these Skeletor monkey-looking things. It's the best way I can describe them. They have 8 feet, they have humanoid bodies, and they have massive skulls for heads. So basically, Skeletor and a monkey doing the fusion dance. But in any case, the skull monkeys, as I'm going to refer to them, as I do not know what exactly they're supposed to be, basically destroy the shaman's village. So to get vengeance, the shaman decides, I'm going to pull a witch bullshit from season 1 and revive Spear in some Frankenstein's monster bullshit, turning Spear into a resident undead. For those of you who don't know, resident undeads are different than regular undeads. They are undead that retain or can regain their memories from when they were alive. And we see this with Spear beginning to regain his memories through physical phenomena that triggers those memories to be reawakened. Now, as for my theories on this, one of my theories is that Mira and Spear's daughter, because they did have a kid together, my boy had that perfect aim even when he was half burnt into a over toasted hot pocket. But they do have a daughter along with Fang's children from season 2. But something must have caused them to either move away or they were away from the village when it happened, because I feel like 3 full-grown Tyrannosaurus could have turned the tide of the battle. But in any case, we see the shaman, he performs the ritual, he revives Spear, he sends Spear after the skeletal monkey things. Spear basically kills everyone but the last one, who is actually fucking smart enough to be like, wait, spellcaster's completely unguarded while the barbarian's raging. Kill the wizard! Kill the support, the team follows. This is basic shit. And I know I'm doing a lot of recap and not a lot of theories, but I gotta give you a recap first before I can give you my theories. So, after the last of the skeletal monkeys kills the shaman, setting Spear free of the mind control aspect of the magic, which I'm going to assume the resident undead spell he uses either has to be reversed by the spellcaster itself, because, like, physically reversed by the spellcaster itself, because if it worked off of a lot of normal spell principles from media and pop culture, once the spellcaster is dead in a lot of instances, the spell reverses itself. In this instance, there either has to be some kind of reversal spell or ritual, or once cast, only the caster can return the undead in Primal back to its state of undead. That's one of the theories I have, is that that spells in this world require either physical reversal by the casters, or some other ritual needs to be performed, or it may just be that once the spell is cast, there's no uncasting it. Now, as for what happens after Spear gets basically released from his magical chains, he does the whole, like, wandering around thing, gets swallowed by a giant crocodile, rips out its tongue, and makes the thing bleed to death, which, scientifically speaking, isn't possible because of how how the analytical structure of a crocodile's jaw works, but I digress. So after that, bit of a flash flood happens, and a little bit of a backtrack here. When the animals sensed Spear coming, because this is important, there were zebra, gazelle, elephants, suggesting that they were in Africa, which makes sense, which leads into another theory of mine. Spear is actually a Neanderthal from North America that crossed the Atlantic Ocean into Europe, where he met the Celts and the Vikings, and then traveled south looking for Mira, which led him to the Colossus and the Egyptian queen, and then Mira's village. So I do believe Mira is either West or Northern African, possibly also Muslim, or at least supposed to be of Muslim descent, or Persian in general. But that's another theory for another time. But the animals, the moment they sense Spear coming, they run like hell, which is the most accurate fucking shit I have seen in a long ass time. Animals have a sixth sense for danger. If they think something's not right, they will run like fucking hell. Which is exactly what they did. But back to the flash flood thing. So the flash flood happens. Spear ends up saving a leopard. And I don't mean a leopard as in cat. I mean leopard as in leprosy. The whole, like, Jesus placed his hand on the leopard and they were healed kind of leprosy shit. And at first the leopard's like, motherfucker, you fugly, and tries to run away. Spear, ever being Spear, outruns him, catches up to him, and the leopard assumes Spear has the same kind of leprosy he does. They take him back, and there's all kinds of fugly going on. Spear looks like a fucking supermodel compared to the rest of these bastards. So he brings Spear into a tent, sits him down, and Spear starts to regain his memories. A little bit. I assume he was trying to draw the scorpion brand on the back of Mira's skull, or the back of Mira's neck, from the Cleopatra Queen shit. But in any case, so not long after that, these Arabian raiders show up. You can tell they're Arabian by the time of horses they ride, the clothing they wear, and most importantly, the depiction of their swords being the classic Sinbad, Shamshir, Scimitar, Tulwar kind of blades. They attack the leprosy camp, which is not the fucking smartest thing in the world to do. I don't know why the hell you'd want to... If you don't have leprosy, especially in an era where vaccines and medicine was basically shit on it and hope it gets better, why would you go anywhere near a leopard camp? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Even if you were sent there by some lord to purge it, they had incendiary arrows. This is a actual historical fact. They had arrows that they could have just lobbed and shot from a distance, not even having to go near them, because leprosy can be transmitted through touch. It can be transmitted through touching contaminated clothing, through sharing food and drink. It's one of those where it can be easily spread. That's why there were quarantined villages and isolated areas where people with leprosy were forced to go. I mean, in today's world, it's pretty much non-existent anymore, as far as I'm aware. But still, why the fuck would you... Like, I want to know why they attacked the leopard camp, because that just doesn't make tactical sense to me. Especially considering anyone with any tactical intelligence would have had archers just lob arrows, like a volley of arrows, and you had horses encircle the encampment on the horses and just keep lobbing arrows and throwing like torches and fire and shit. And there's a lot more tactical ways of dealing with leprosy back then, which I'm not exactly a fan of. Tanakosky, if you're going to do something like that, I feel like you could have given a little more thought. Maybe that's just my warrior mindset, or the fact that I believe mercy is a luxury, not a right. But in any case, so Spear, he kills these guys by literally just beating them to fucking death and back. He's flipping horses, he's throwing shit, and this could be a tone to supernatural strength gain, because while Spear was strong as he was alive, he wasn't really strong enough. We never really saw him rip arms off of people while he was alive, or throwing something like a horse. We saw him throwing hands a lot of times, but we didn't see him throwing shit like that, which is actually scientifically backed by the fact that the human body has nerves that limit strain on muscles to prevent damage. That's why we feel pain when we try to do stupid shit. And these limiters built into our muscles prevent us from using their full actual strength. As Spear is now a resident undead, he's basically had those limiters removed. So he can use the full unrestricted strength of his build against his enemies. And the last two of the raiding party look at Spear and they make the smartest fucking decision I have seen in recent media in all the shit I've seen recently. They look at Spear after he's killed an ungodly amount of their fellow raiders and basically look to each other like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Turn around and ride as fast as their fucking horses can carry them. Now, during this battle, Spear ends up getting on the back of a horse. And as he's riding the horse, foggy images of him riding on the back of Fang appear. Fang being the Tyrannosaurus. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. But in any case, and this, coupled with what happens after the fight when the leopards are trying to bring him back, because even the leopards don't appear to be extremely intelligent But they're intelligent enough to realize that having Spear around is a benefit. Someone who cannot actually contract leprosy, for one, being resident undead. He's immune to diseases now. And second, someone as powerful as him and seemingly controllable. I say controllable because Spear acts extremely docile compared to his past self, but that's because he lacks his past self's memories and personality. Now then, time for theories. I theorize that within episode 2 or 3, we will have the fated reunion with Spear and Fang. And it will either go one of two ways. Either Spear and Fang will attempt to kill each other, or one of them will recognize the other and attempt some kind of parley. Perhaps Mira would recognize Spear as well. The daughter gets involved. Because according to the couple of trailers I've seen, the demon Viking guy comes back. Apparently not satisfied with killing Spear. Now he wants to kill Mira and the daughter because, well, your husband killed my wife and my child. And me. I killed him. You two didn't have... Well, I did that. Mira had something to do with it because she was helping to kill the Vikings as well. But the daughter's innocent, and it's the whole thing of like, oh, you must pay for the sins of your father. No, I don't have to pay for the sins of my father. My father made those sins, not me. Don't throw me into this. But then again, ancient times, ancient rules, different world. I do think that Spear and Mira's daughter may actually attempt to attack Spear thinking he's some kind of monster. And I really do believe that Mira may have to get involved and step in to keep Fang and her daughter from attacking Spear. And who knows? I have another theory that Spear will be resurrected fully. Like, that's my hope, that Spear, through some kind of blessing or proving himself or something, will be fully resurrected to the land of the living to live out the rest of his natural days with his wife and his daughter in peace. Because let's face it, Spear deserves a break, okay? He had to watch his first family, his first wife, his first kids get eaten by giant crimson tyrannosauruses with an emo problem. I'm just spitting out emo problem just to fill in the void. But in any case, then what happens when he finally finds happiness again? Honestly, I would justify Spear's killing of the Vikings in this show as completely justified crash out. Okay? You guys were the ones who couldn't just let Mira go, couldn't just let one slave go, had to track her ass down across the ocean to North America where dinosaurs still apparently live, drag her ass back, incurring the wrath of a Tyrannosaurus and a caveman. And Spear, he didn't go into that village to kill. He went there to get Mira back. Okay, y'all were the one who attacked him. If you had just let Mira go, or... Here's another idea. Never have fucking come back for her in the first place. You wouldn't have died. Your chieftain's wife wouldn't have died. Your village chieftain's son wouldn't have died. Your chieftain wouldn't have turned into a demon in the first place. But no. It's all their fault, okay? Spear is completely justified in his crash out. And Spear went from spearman to swordsman. He evolved, bitch! Swinging steel. Obviously, he would be better with practical training, but that's aside the point. But yeah, I really do hope and I believe that Spear will be given some form of full resurrection. If not, then at least bury him in the same settlement that his wife and daughter live in. Or if you're going to kill Spear off once and for all permanently, make it so where he's dying defending those he loves. My boy Spear deserves a break, okay? We all know he does. But let me know what you think down in the comments below, my noble band of outlaws. Oh, also, I think that we're going to see the witches again. Or at least a different covenant of witches. Because this is supposed to be a panthology series. So, there's no way that Tanakosky is not going to give us more magical bullshit, or perhaps some kind of god or deity. Oh my god, perhaps, like, we already know that there's like a devil Satan figure in this world because of the demon Viking. What if Spear meets the equivalent of the Primal versus God? And he makes a deal with Spear that, okay, if you destroy this apostle of the devil, this demon Viking, then I shall grant you life renewed. I will revive you fully so that you can live the rest of your life with your daughter and your beloved friend Fang. Like, that, like, I wouldn't imagine him saying that in words. More maybe gestures. Or maybe just simply showing up after the battle and doing it. But I hope that's the case. Like, because I feel like that would be the most justifiable reason to explain how Spear got fully resurrected. But let me know what you think down in the comments below, my noble band of outlaws. If you think we're going to get more mystical, magical bullshit, or if Spear's just going to end up dying again at the hands of the demon Viking. Let me know down in the comments below. And until next time, my noble band of outlaws, outlaws, hammer, tell all y'all be crazy rednecks. Be safe and use your weapons. I missed that time. I'm out. Peace.